Okay, folks, hope you're doing well. I want to go over a few things and then we're going to do a little demo. This is my cotton hobbles. They're kind of wearing out, so I've got some new ones. So I mentioned before that it's 7 feet. So when you back braid one end and you stretch it out, and this would be where you'd put your tape. Then let it out to about here, unravel it, tie your knot, and then back braid it. If you don't know how to back braid, there's 7,000 videos on it. And I learned some things from the last video, because I mentioned single foot and amblers. And I found out that the ambler, or the amble gait, was from northern Portugal. And evidently they have a full-on deal about horses that amble. And the lady mentioned that there might have been something they brought over with the conquistadores, so I don't know. But anyway, that's a good story I hadn't heard before. And now the definition of a single footer, I know what ranch guys talk about it. That horse can single foot, and maybe somebody could have some input as to what it is, because we like it in a horse, I can tell you that. And I don't think it's a gait personally. Maybe it is. All I know is a 3-gaited horse is fart, fumble, and stall. That's all I know. So anyway, I did want to tell you that the blinder story on the workhorses, the general consensus is what I thought, and it's all about safety, because you don't want them looking back. And I still believe that when I had a good team, or I made a team, it was all on voice commands. So you have contact with the lines, but your voice tells them what to do. And I think that's a big part of why you want the blinders on there. And me, health-wise, it's kind of a pain in the neck, but otherwise than that, we're doing good. And our friend Jennifer, the proctor, Monticello, Georgia, told my wife to keep a short leash on me and make me behave. So that's why the leash. Okay, Peyton, you can understand where I'm coming from. Moving right along, I'm going to show you. So this is for Joe McFadden in Chillicothe and Bernard down in Culver City. And both of you really need to get this on your horses, because Joe sends his good Andalusian colts to a high-end trainer, and the trainer I know would appreciate it if the colt came there having what I'm about to show you, for a lot of reasons. And Bernard, for your colts and horses you're working, you need to get this because of your timing and your confidence in your horse. And it's all about having them pick you up. And we all know about picking you up. And if you're 13 years old, it means absolutely nothing to you. But as time goes on, it'll be worth $1 million to you. My good friend Bob Snyder, one of the best cowboys I ever met in Wyoming, it kind of saved him on Roundup one year. He hurt his leg real bad on some dink, and then he took the horse that we got him, and that horse had come pick him up. Even though he had a bum leg, he finished up the Roundup. So I'm guessing that's one reason he's in the Cowboy Hall of Fame in Wyoming. Which incidentally, it really makes me proud of Wyoming, because they put real cowboys in there. It's not just world champion whatevers. So they acknowledge the guys that spent their whole life punching cows. So anyway, we'll get set up and move over to Chinaco. It's all about picking you up. A lot of people lead a horse to a mounting block and it stands and they get on, and that's fine. But there's another level to it, and I'll show you what it is. And the idea when you're done is, as you approach, you're just going to bump the rope and then climb up on whatever it is you want to climb up on. There's the bump. And here's me standing up here. So the horse has to disengage the hindquarter and get prepared to come get me. And by walking around that half circle, it just shows that the horse can separate what you want and what you don't want. So I'll send him, then I'll ask him, Now this time, as he disengages and gets the distance I want, I will turn my body so that he can place his for me to just turn my stirrup and get on. I don't get on from back there, I get on from up here. So this is where I want him. Okay, to achieve that, it's just a parlor trick. It's no big deal. But it has a lot of significance in the horse not being bothered. Just all the reasons in the world. You can appreciate they have to switch eyes, they have to cross over behind. They feel confident about knowing what they're doing. They turn it into a habit, and it could save you a walking home. So that's what I wanted you to see on him. And you mix it up and do it different ways, because out in the hills you never know what angle you're going to be at. So you can just kind of change it up, and I'll bump as I step. That cues him to know. And when it's done, by the time you turn around, they should be standing there. Now this is a place where a horse can't reach. So to pay them off, this is one of the best places there is, other than under their belly. But from here, you pay a horse off here and you got it made. Now on a young horse, my hand will be open like you've seen me do on the withers. And when the horse drops its head, I'll take my hand off. So I'm doing, several things. I just let him know, you're fine, so don't worry about a thing. Now anybody that remembers it, you'd have to have a good memory, but this is what I did with the Clydesdale horse in Australia in Mansfield. Buck had me do the groundwork, and I spent 3 days doing this. And the 4th day, I think it was, I got on, the horse walked off, and it was a bronco. So I hope there's somebody still upright that remembers that. It's kind of a big deal. So there you go. Now Deb's horse, we're just going to walk it through. It doesn't know how to do this, so we're going to walk it through how you get this done. First thing you want to do is drive the horse between you and the trailer. Deb said I can take this off since she can supervise me. Man, I tell you, it's hard to sleep with that. If you notice, the crossing over is the key to this deal. So she's done groundwork with the horse, obviously. It's all about the angle of the eye. You can see the horse is crowding her. Well, when she starts having them come get her on the box, or the mounting block, he'll knock her right off the block if he doesn't respect her space. And that's one reason you have the distance between the trailer and you. She has to get behind the eye to get the horse to go forward. Now she's got to move the front end over, which she just did. And that's it. Okay. Now you can just get up on the box.
Don't fall off.
And drive the horse back and forth. Now if you got help at home, don't use it unless you need it, because there's nothing worse than a committee. But now drive him farther, Deb, so he'll step over farther. He's got to move his hip where it's going to be in line for you. There, this time make his hip go all the way over. Right now. There, now he's just straight. So just ease him up. So this is kind of the procedure. And I don't want to have to do anything, because using a flag or buying a carrot stick or whatever the hell you call them, horses know when you don't have the stick, folks. If I need to help her, I will, but I'm not gonna unless she needs it. Now what'll really happen is what you just saw, is this hindquarter will start to drift. And so now she just has to take it an inch at a time and work him forward. Because he's already picked her up off the deal. She's been able to lead him up and, you know, get on from there. But what I'm talking about is having them walk from anywhere and prepare themselves to pick you up. And it's a $1 million deal. And the Mandan Indian thing, there was another John in Montana, Deb?
John Moore.
John Moore, who's in Montana at Miles City, our connection is that he has a ranch on Sunday Creek, which is where my grandma homesteaded in 1909, and I was going to get to go see it, but I had a bit of a horse wreck, so we had to cancel that. But anyway, next year I hope to see it. Anyway, John is an absolute wealth of information. I mean, you talk about a study. That guy is really good, and the part that I like about him is he does his research. He doesn't just interview some old lunger and then write it down. He makes sure the dates are right and the things he writes about are right. So if you're ever curious about the amazing story of the horse business in Montana, he knows the deal. He answered that FUF question I had. It has nothing to do with Oregon.
So if he's crowding me like this much.
Yeah, just like that. She just bump on the eye. If you bump on the orbit of the eye, which is the lower part of the orbit, with the heel of your hand, you're bumping on the bone, but you're covering the eyeball. So that's the way you move a horse's front end over. This is why you want to get things good before you go there. So now you watch this horse's feet. The left hind is going to be the next one. Shorten up your left hand on the rope right underneath the jaw. There you go. Now watch his right ear. Right? Left hind is what we're after. So that's the committee. And that's as, in other words, really try not to do anything with a stick or a flag, because it's just a prop. And the person holding the lead rope is the one running the show. If they keep watching me for the flag, then Deb's hung out to dry. So now climb down off the stump there and then go lead him out and head out and then come back. Now, as you know, I'm staying here. He already knows I'm here. And he's simply going to remember that I'm here. It's like 10% of this whole thing. So Deb, the trick is when you turn the corner, Deb, you want to make sure that hindquarter went all the way over.
Right. I'll do it again.
She just cut her throat, see? So you can go past it and then come back. It's easier once he learns to yield to your pressure of not pushing on you. Now these horses, like him, he's the one I got in the wreck with, but you can see he's really a gentle horse. That's why they call it a wreck. Keep going to the tack room. That's close. Next time go a little farther. Now remember, your hand will end up right underneath his jaw, the place I tell nobody to ever lead their horse by. So now we got a left front. You can see the left ear. And all he's doing is just known as a brace. As soon as I see that left front load up and move, and I'll take the pressure off. Of course, they're scared to death of Deb. She's a very serious horse trainer, as you can tell.
I mean, he's so close. It's cool, but it's...
Well, it's cool until you try to fish your foot in the stirrup and you fall off the big stump there.
That's
so
true.
Then it's uncool. So there is an option here. You either get down and move the stump, which would be wrong, or you move the horse over to the position that they're supposed to be in and get them moved over prior to them stopping in the get on position. Okay.
I think we need that leash back.
Moving, yeah, she wants the leash back. Okay. Moving right along. Now send him back the other way, all the way to the tack room door. Get him going. All right, now be ready to move him away, away. Good. Left hand and away. Bump. Bump. Bump him hard. There, now let him come in. This is real.
Most horses, I don't feel like I want to do this, but I feel like with him, I need him to get away from me just a little bit.
Well, what she's doing is the perfect scenario. Whatever you don't like, make it difficult. Don't make it easy for him. He's smart enough to know, believe me. All 4 feet have to vote. Now exhale. Now the left front foot landed towards her. He's telling her, I'm going to knock you off the box. When she puts pressure on, I put pressure on. Put your hand under the chin. Under the chin. And that's what keeps the horse. You shorten it up enough where he'll move. Now your right hand can be moving him. Now swing it over his back and move him from the other side. Now it's all about the hip, where the hip ends up. There. Now to contradict myself, I might have been cutting her throat by having her go too far. But as Pat Sweeney from Sweet, Idaho said, you're a lot smarter at the end of the day. Once again, I've been fortunate enough to be around some of the best hands in the country. And it's a shame that when I was around most of them, I wasn't too sharp and wasn't listening because I was so smart. But later on, you don't forget what they said. And Pat Sweeney was one of those guys that was really good at what he did. Now, I'm going to help her out by directing my pressure towards this hip. Just stand there a minute. Don't let him walk forward. You see how that brace is in the right hind? Because the left hind is cocked. There, he just shifted. Very nice. Remember, it's all fair.
He's starting to give me a little space.
She's starting to present herself to get some space, is what she said. Horses and dogs naturally have a tendency to come to her, literally. There, that was a really Herculean try. He drug his foot up. Now, I'll get back here to help her out with the forward. There. Now I'm going to show you something that's fair.
I could get on now.
There's nothing wrong with that. So now she'll pet him and he'll know he's in the right position. So now she'll get off the stump and start over. And as she steps up, now what you got to learn is that as you step up, like on the fence or up on a rock, the first time you step up, you bump. And that's what gives the horse the cue to come forward. Now don't pet the horse until it's exactly where you want it. Don't do anything. Let me help you. Is that where you want it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now once again, I have to leave because if I
I'm
stand there...
My stirrup is right here, right?
Yeah, I hope it is. If I keep standing there, then I'll ruin what we're trying to get accomplished. And I'm not attached, and while she's working the horse, what you don't do, unless you're a team penner, move your foot. You don't tell people what to do when they're trying to concentrate. It's no different working cattle. You don't say, get the red one. You just don't say nothing.
We also have a rule that helps other husband and wife teams. And that is, if I don't want a lesson, then he doesn't say anything unless I'm about to die. That's the only
That's right. She
exception.
comes to me about twice a year and asks for a lesson. Other than that, I don't tell her how to do anything.
I think it's more than twice a year now.
See what I mean? Yes, dear. Ronan, what do you think? Now, see how much is intentional now. Boom. That was intentional. He actually knows where to be now. She'll just make him do it. That's all she's got to do. And something I never use is the word stubborn. I don't think horses are stubborn.
Well.
Yeah. How about your knee? Knee in the rib, break the rib. You ever see a three-legged turtle?
This is kind of a precarious place.
Okay.
Wait, I got more in me.
She's got it. She's got it.
I got it.
There we go.
Seems like with this horse, maybe if I start here, because he already knows how to get close. Really close.
Timing comes to mind.
There.
Now, she just did it without this. So to me, what happens with my mind is that the horse knows that I know that he knows that I know. So there's no going back now. The horse knows how to do it. So now it's repetition. Anyway, that's kind of what we wanted to go over today. And the point is raising the bar is what it amounts to, is that there's picking you up and then there's picking you up. And
do we want us to say about how our last video, you threw the rope at this horse, and then right after that, I had a really good ride.
Yeah, she just, when I got done throwing the rope around that horse's hind legs, she stepped on and rode off. And like right now, you can see she can just saddle him up, get on and leave. So
the wreck is over.
The whole thing about the wreck, that was a really long ways from here. Now, just like somebody said in an email, pay attention when you rope off him. Well, that's exactly true. That's exactly true. So, there you go. They got two things, a memory and an appetite. Good job.
Thanks. We sure appreciate everybody's. We've gotten cards and gifts and
Man, you wouldn't
money
believe
orders, and we really appreciate everybody
It's
doing
been
that for us.
in Mena, Nevada.
I think
Mena,
you need
Nevada.
You need to step in.
Our partner from Mena, Nevada, of all towns. Thank you very much, my friend. That was nice of you. And all around the world. I got an email from a guy in Bosnia. And got his address, so we're going to be pen pals now. I can't wait to translate his writing, but anyway, that's what's going to happen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Where do you get your tennis shoes? These are outtakes. The horse is running away.